So this is Conflict Desert Storm for the PlayStation 2. It's a third-person tactical shooter, and it's not too bad. And on the back it says, "You're the best trained, best equipped Special Forces squad in the world. You are being deployed deep behind enemy lines where the terrain and conditions are barbaric. You will seek, locate and destroy the enemy while creating havoc and confusion against insane odds. Your skill will mean your survival. Features: lead your squad against the might of the enemy, survive 15 challenging missions, each with multiple path solutions, employ airstrikes, heavy artillery and vehicles to hit your targets, watch your squad's expertise improve as each mission is completed. Unprecedented AI governs enemy and squad behaviour. Ballistics accurately simulate the rigours of combat multiplayer cooperative gaming." And this was made by a British developer. So there's a disc and the manual. And interestingly, with the manual, on the back it gives you the Gulf War chronology, because this game obviously it takes place in the Gulf War. So it goes from July the 17th 1990 to March the 8th 1991, and for each date it tells you what happened. Like for example, February the 25th 1991, Iraqi Scud missile hits a US barracks in Saudi Arabia, killing 27. So that's pretty interesting. So yeah, let's take a look at Conflict Desert Storm on the PlayStation 2. So on the main menu you can choose between training or the Desert Storm campaign, and the Desert Storm campaign is the main game. You've got 3 different difficulties. You've got easy, medium and hard, and you can select between the British SAS or the US Delta Force. So this is one of the training missions or levels, and surprisingly I think the training is quite fun. Usually in video games I always find the training levels to be quite boring, but I find them to be quite fun in this.
Join me through the door ahead of you for your weapons evaluation!
And it's like the guy who orders you around, I think he's called the drill sergeant or something, he shouts as well, and he kind of sounds really over the top, and I think they've done that on purpose to kind of give it a bit of a comedic effect, and I do find it quite funny. So you can go into a first person view in this game like you can see now, and you can also obviously play it in third person. I think you change the perspective by clicking in the R3 button. Can't quite remember because it's been a couple of weeks since I played this game now. You can also drive vehicles in the game as well, like you can see now, but they are quite hard to control because you use both the analog sticks. You use one analog stick for like the acceleration, for going forwards, and for braking and for going backwards, and use the other analog stick for controlling it. And that's the thing about the controls in this game, not just controlling the vehicles but even controlling the people. The controls do feel very clunky and wooden. The graphics look really ropey as well. Overall the game does seem pretty damn ropey, but I find it to be quite fun though.
Coming through! Infantry ahead! Faster! Come on, soldier! Get across those beams, soldier!
I find it quite interesting that the game takes place in Iraq. It takes place in the Gulf War, because I remember the Gulf War myself. I think it was in 1990 or 1991. I was about 15 at the time, I think. So you've got all the real weapons in the game. You've got all the real hardware, like the real tanks and helicopters and whatever. So you basically control a squad of 4 guys, and you can pick whichever person you want to control. So right now you can see I'm controlling Bradley, But whilst I'm controlling Bradley, or as you can see right now it's Connor's, I can order the other men what to do without actually switching characters. So I can make the men stay where they are, or I can make them follow me, or I can make them fire at will, etc. And if you press the select button, you can look at your objectives and read about them so you know exactly what it is that you're supposed to do. The most difficult thing about this game really are the tanks. Obviously, if a tank spots you, it's going to fire its cannon at you and it's going to blow you up unless you manage to get out of the way. So it can be quite tricky. It can be very tricky, in fact, trying to take the tanks down. You've got to, the best way of blowing up a tank is using your rocket launcher against it. Well, no, actually, the best way of blowing up a tank is using the plastic explosive, but that's a lot more risky. So if you're going to use like a rocket launcher, you need to make sure that you hit the back of the tank, because that should blow it up in one shot. If you hit the front of the tank, it will probably take several shots, and you're more likely to get killed that way. And you've got to quickly fire at the tank without it spotting you, or at least without it managing to turn its turret around, and then so it's aiming at you, and then it's going to end up firing at you. So you need to fire at the tank quite quickly. So there's quite a few different weapons in this game. Not only do you have guns, but you've got like hand grenades, smoke grenades, plastic explosive like I said before, and you've got like a little trigger thing to set off the plastic explosive as well. Tank mines. Tank mines aren't really that useful because most tanks, they're just stationary. And the more any of the characters use a weapon, the better he'll get at using it, and you'll get more stars for it. So as you can see with this guy, he's just got 2 stars for the plastic, but the more he uses the plastic, the more better he'll get at using it and the more stars he'll get. Now the game only ends if all of your men die. So you can actually, if you do lose one of the guys, then when you start the next mission, a new guy will take his place. And what will basically happen if a guy loses, if he loses all of his main health, so that will be the yellow bar, he'll have a red bar. So he'll be on the ground, he won't be able to move or anything, but he'll still be alive. And the red bar will slowly go down over time, so you need to get to him in time before the red bar goes down, and heal him, like you can see what's happening now. The sound in the game, it's not too bad, it seems good enough. The music is pretty good though. Really suits the game, I think. You can also give weapons to your teammates as well, and you can take weapons from them as well. So even on the easiest difficulty, this game is quite a decent challenge. I've got no idea what the game is like on medium or hard difficulties, because I've not played it on those difficulties yet. You can call in airstrikes as well, which is pretty cool. So you basically just lock onto a target and you press the button, and then eventually a plane will come overhead and it will blow up the target. Now, a really cool feature about this game is that you have 2 saves per level, so if you're in the middle of a level and something important comes up and you need to turn the game off, you can save it. Or if you spent a long time on a level and you're coming up to a part that's really difficult, and you know you might die, and if you die, you know you'll have to start the level off all over again, then you can just save. So then if you do die, you can start off from where you last saved, or if you turn the console off and then turn the console back on the next day and load the game, you'll start off from where you last saved. But you do only get 2 saves per level, which seems like a good idea really, because if you had as many saves as you wanted for each level, then it will make the game way too easy. I forgot to mention that the aiming on automatic aim, it's not that great. What I mean is that if you're in third person view, your aiming will be automatic, and it's not that great, because even though your sight might be on a guy and you shoot him, for some reason sometimes he won't actually die. It's like you're missing him. But if you go into first person view, like you can see now, and you actually have, it's manual aiming, so you have full control over the aiming, and there's, you know, pretty much every time you have your sight on someone, when you shoot at them, it's going to kill them. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'd recommend this game, because I don't really know how it compares to most other third-person tactical shooters. This is, apart from another one that I played a long time ago, and it wasn't for that long, this is pretty much the only third-person tactical shooter that I played. Well, I tell a lie, I've played Conflict Desert Storm 2 as well. For some reason I didn't really find, even though that game seems pretty much the same as this one, I didn't really find it to be that fun for some reason. Whereas with this game I do find it to be fairly fun, you know. I suppose I'd say the game is a bit above average. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'd recommend this or not. For all I know, this game could be really crap compared to most other third-person tactical shooters, or then again it might be quite good. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it really. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.